Talks with Toya. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have some amazing people with me. I have Miss JoJo Pata. I have Miss Mita Washington. I have Nicole Lady Extreme Carter, the Miss Tracy Ardis, and the Miss Willie May. I'm just excited to have everybody with us tonight as we celebrate the Miss Tracy. There's some feedback, and there's that's okay. It's all good. I'm excited to have everybody with me as we celebrate the closing of Women's History Month. We are sitting with some of the dopest people, women in the gospel industry. Like, y'all don't understand this, how this panel is. Like, it's fire. It's straight fire. Let us know who's checking in with us so we know who's here. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves and talk about a little bit what they do. If you do not know who they are someone you need to know. Some of them have programs on that you definitely need to tune into, subscribe to their YouTube channel, etc. So I'll start with you, Miss JoJo.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I was on my phone. I was actually sharing the live. So I was doing what I do, which I promote and I publicize all things gospel music. There is a joke. There was a joke in the industry that it became my Twitter bio, which is I am the publicist to the gospel superstars of America, which I agree, they are superstars of America. I am a almost 25-year plus publicity veteran. I've been in the music industry since way in the 90s. And I'm currently the owner and founder of Ignition PR, which is a faith-based entertainment PR firm.
All right, Miss Mita.
Hello, everybody. Well, I do the middays at Kirk Franklin's Praise. I mean, I am the midday host at Kirk Franklin's Praise on Sirius XM. And 20 years, into it. And, it's an exciting ride. Glad to still be on the journey.
All right, Miss Lady Extreme.
Well, I am amongst great women. I am the pioneer of Christian rap here in Columbus, Ohio. Also, I've been in the promotions arena for over 30 years. I have promoted some of the greatest gospel artists in our community. I adore one of my best mentors is Tracy Ardis. Got to give her a crazy shout out. But and there's so many other people who have helped catapult me to what I'm doing today. My main objective is to encourage and empower people to do their dream, do it afraid, and make sure that they fulfill their purpose in the earth, because the greatest thing that you can miss is not fulfilling your purpose. So my thing is to encourage and empower people to do just that. I create platforms and stages for people to perform on and just help people just have a great time and do their dream, man, and do it afraid. That's what I do.
Listen, and Miss Tracy, as you heard, you are her mentor. Can you introduce yourself, Miss Tracy?
My name is Tracy Ardis. I hail from Cincinnati, Ohio. Love you, Nicole. Love all the women on the panel, and just glad to be in such great women. I'm the CEO and founder of I Hear Music. I've had my company for about 25 years. 20 years I've been doing the I Hear Music in the Air Conference here in Cincinnati. I also am the director of the Black Family Reunion. Dorothy Heights started them across the country 25 years ago, and I've been directing Cincinnati's BFR for about 8 years. I cover the Motown gospel roster in my day-to-day operation. I hear music, but I also have some other amazing artists I work with, like Charles Jenkins, Isaac Correa, and others. So I'm just excited about being here tonight.
All right, Miss Tracy, and then we have Miss Willie May.
Hi, everyone. I'm Willie May Mckyber, and I have a syndicated show that airs in about 30 plus markets called Beyond the Praise. I've been in radio now. It'll be 41 years in July. So I thank God for the longevity and for still being recognized for what I do. And I give him all the glory and honor for it. And that's what I contribute my longevity to. So just glad to be in the business and amongst you wonderful ladies this evening.
Listen, so shout out to Mr. Michael Stewart for making this possible with Gospel Central, for sponsoring Talks with Toya. So it be empowered by him. We already have a comment in the chat that says we have some heavy hitters on tonight. So
David.
Excited. Listen, we're excited. So we're going to just jump right into the questions. We're celebrating Women's History Month. These ladies here are the best of the best in the gospel industry. And again, I'm just honored that they're here and willing to chat with little old me. But my first question is, how did you all get started in the industry? And we can do it popcorn, whatever way you want to do it. How did you all get started in the industry?
I don't know what popcorn means, but I'll
You
start.
start whoever it is, random.
Okay.
Popcorn, random.
Since I started talking, I just want to say that was my bestie, Damon Williams, who just commented. So, hey,
Okay.
Damon.
Hi, Mr. Damon.
Well, I'll just say this. I'll be quick. I'm the lone publicist on this group, and so it's an honor to be with a lot of these really tremendous women and these women who have had a tremendous and important impact in gospel music and gospel radio. For me, I started in the business, like I said, way in the 90s. And I had the honor and the privilege to work for Terry Williams, who I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Terry is a legendary publicist. She was at the time one of the very few African American women publicists in entertainment. She started her business with clients like Eddie Murphy and Johnny Cochran and Essence Magazine. And so I started out working for her as an intern and just worked my way up. Eventually, I found myself at the Motown Cafe, which is a theme restaurant in New York. I handled all their celebrity events. And then from there, I found the light, so to speak, and landed at the Verity Records in 2000. And since that time, I have been in gospel music. I founded Ignition PR in 2006. I think, yes, 2006. And I've had the honor and pleasure to work with a number of different clients like Erica Campbell and My Block and Fred Hammond and Pastor Donnie McClurkin and a whole number of people, Vashawn Mitchell, Brian Courtney Wilson, William McDowell, number of people. But it's been that, and it's been a great journey, and I hope to continue it. I'm headed toward my 30th anniversary, so that's super exciting. And I just love publicity. I have always loved it, and hope to continue to keep doing it.
Awesome. I've actually had the opportunity to interview Mr. Brian. He is an amazing man.
Thank you for your support.
Yes, of course. And I loved his latest record. I think the favorite song I had wasn't any of the singles. It's the one where I figured out, I asked him, I said, is Eric Roberson singing background on this song? I can't remember the title. I know, I asked him in the interview because I just love the background vocals and just the whole setup because I'm a music head. So yes, one of my favorites. Anyone else?
All right, I guess I'll popcorn off to the to the side of JoJo. We might as well go with it. I probably have had one of the most unusual entries into the gospel industry. I was in radio. I did have my start in radio as an assistant in New York City at the Inner City Broadcasting Company. I was an assistant to Peppy Sutton, who was the son of Percy Sutton, who was, famous councilman, a Tuskegee Airman, just an amazing person. And I also shared the office there with Hal Jackson, who was the chairman. He was also the group chairman. So, it started there. And then I went on and was at MS Broadcasting, which was Kiss FM, Hot 97, and CD 101. Yes, I did work alongside with Wendy Williams at times. Like I said, I took a really unusual route. And later on, I happened to be at a jazz radio station. I'm kind of jumping ahead on this thing so we can get to the end of it. And, I was there while they were having a fund drive. And the person that was the PD there said, I think it would be really cute if you got on the air with my then husband. And I said, okay. And while my mouth was saying, okay, my mind was going, no, 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 no. So when the red light went on, something clicked. And at that very moment, there were two people who were the heads of CD radio at the time, happened to be listening to this other radio station that was a jazz station, and said, your wife sounds really great on the air. Would she be interested when we finally opened CD radio in auditioning? So that's how Sirius XM got started. It started as CD radio. So a whole year went by and I didn't hear anything from anybody. And, I finally reached out again and was like, are you still interested in me trying out? And they said, well, we've kind of filled up all of our genres, but we have gospel. Do you know anything about gospel? And I'm like, do I know anything about gospel? I'm with 4 choirs. So that's how I got my start. And I said, people could say, well, you lucked into something, but here I am 20 years later. So it was definitely God ordained. And, I treasure my journey and looking forward to just continuing along the way. So I told you it was an unusual story, but I'm here.
It's God ordained. Seriously.
Yes.
Seriously. All right. So who wants to go next? How did you get your start in the industry?
I'll go next.
Okay, Miss Tracy.
So I graduated from college and moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And church I joined, there were a plethora of musicians there that were incredible. I mean, our church service literally sounded as though we could do a live recording right there. And one of the musicians, every Sunday, though we hadn't been officially introduced, he just always waved at me. So one Sunday, he came up to me, introduced himself, and, we just stood there and talked for a while. And then a couple weeks later, they were starting one of the choirs, and I joined the choir. He was our choir director. And so he and I have been friends now since then, 1988. He is my best friend in the world. His name is Byron Cage. So that is how I started in the industry, literally. So not long after I met him, we were just there at the church doing different things. And I started helping with special events and things at my church, New Birth. At that time, we were located in Decatur, Georgia. And long story short, a couple years later, Chris White, who a lot of you all know, called Air and told Alan Freeman Jr. about Byron. He said that he had heard Byron perform and sing, and he said, you should be signing him, because Wilmington Chester Mass Choir at the time was signed to Air Records. And so Alan scheduled a meeting with Byron, and Byron called me and was like, you have to come to this meeting with me. Now I'm working with America. I'm following my church scene, but I don't know a lot about the music industry. And so I go to the meeting with him, and Air Records offers me a job. I'm like, are y'all serious? No,
Wow.
This is not what I'm going to do. So for a year, I became Byron's manager, and I just, started learning about the industry and talking to other persons in the music industry, and left my corporate job to go work for Atlanta International Records. And so I worked there for a little over a year, and I met Big T.I. through Byron. And so I went on to work at Gospel Centric Records, worked there for a very long time, and then we sold into the Sony system, and now I went to work at Verity, which is now RCA, served as Vice President of Gospel Promotions there, got an opportunity to work with JoJo Pata and Damon Williams and Jeff Grant and Ebony Funderburg Grimes and Tamar Poole, and we had a lot of fun. And down through the years, we've all remained friends, but so many of us have went our separate way, but still working in gospel music. Got a chance to meet Willie May Mckyber and Nicole Carter, and have had an opportunity to come to Kirk Franklin's Crazios and meet Mita and others. So that's how I got my start, and still very much enjoy what I do.
That is amazing. Y'all have some stories. These are good. I hope everybody watching, we got some notes already. Powerhouse women on the panel. Someone else already mentioned about the years of experience. Wonderful job, ladies. And so who else wants to go next? I mean, wow.
Well, I can go next. My unique story is I've been in the promotions business for since I was 14. So that's that's over 30 something years. And I started off as, the street teens, passing out flyers for various artists, of course, in all genres of music. And so I've just, as we fast forward, I started rapping at a very young age. And of course, in the 80s, Christian rap was not very popular. And so then we fast forward to the 90s. I kept rapping because I was a cute little girl and people let me rap at their little church. And they like, well, baby, we're not sure about that bebop stuff, but we're going to let you in because you're a cute little girl. So you just behave yourself. And I've been able to rap and not knowing that I was pioneering. Of course, you get hurt along the way, but passing out flyers, pioneering a genre of music that the Lord called me to. And fast forward, I've been a part of radio, television. I've done so many things. I have comedy shows, do concerts, and the main thing is to create platforms for people to have opportunities to showcase their talent. And so we come forward. I've been all over the country, do a lot of promotions across the Midwest. I have been blessed to be a part of the I Hear Music Camp. I have seen most of you, actually all of you ladies at one time or the other at various events. And I've been a part of pushing and promoting your artists across the region. Sometimes I'll just take flyers and run around the city when I see them sitting and they're not doing anything. Because, you send stuff to cities and people sit on them and I didn't sit on them. So we fast forward to now. The main objective that I'm doing now is just really pushing and promoting others and talking about the realm of promotions and why it's important and why gospel music is needed and necessary, part of not only culture, but a lifestyle. And I am just excited to be a part of this, but just to inspire and encourage people that what you do for Christ truly does last. Didn't know I was pioneering an art form. When I started back in the 80s and 90s, I was just rapping because everybody was rapping back then. And I was a female and people looked at me. So I was like, hey, let's do this. And I was breakdancing and all that stuff. So we had a good time. So that's how I got started in this arena.
Listen, you being modest right now, Mr. Cuz. You being so modest. I'm cracking up. So, as Miss Tracy is her mentor, this is why I do what I do, is because of her. She was the first person that got me started.
Wow.
I love you, Toya.
I'm
love
serious.
You, Toya.
So she's playing. So she's an artist. She's playing. I'm gonna just put it out here so everybody understands. She's an artist. She's had her own radio show. She brought gospel comedy. She works with all the disabilities community. Like she's like skipping stuff like big time, like big time. Like I'll forget you, but she's the reason why I'm here.
Well, I adore you and I love you, and you deserve to be here because you are light, like nobody's business, Toya. You are a gift to so many.
Y'all are. That's why y'all here. I told Michael a while ago, I was like, listen, I really want to do this successful women in the industry panel for Women's History Month. And here are my names. I was very specific. Like, you are ladies that I've watched and I just love your spirit. Like I've never got to see Miss Mita, but I've heard her on the radio and I just love her voice. This is Mita Washington. I just I love it. I love it. I love it. So Miss Willie May.
Okay, so let's see. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I attended the University of Nevada at Las Vegas. I had a degree in broadcast journalism and started in 1980 with an internship at a local radio station there in Las Vegas. And was there for 5 years after graduating and relocated to the Dallas-Fort Worth market where they had a network in the area. It was ABC Radio Networks based out of Dallas, Texas. Parent company was, of course, in New York. And so I reached out to ABC. I started working in local radio here in Dallas, and I reached out to ABC to see if they had any gospel programming at their station. At the time, they didn't. They said, well, we'll call you when we do. And so probably about a year later, they decided to add gospel to their urban AC format, which at the time was called Heart and Soul. And they asked me if I was interested in doing a Sunday morning show from 6 to 10. And I said, okay, I can do it. They said, we don't know anything about gospel. You'll have to do all the music, all the producer of the show. You'll have to host it. You'll have to be self-contained. But we've got the vehicle. And I said, okay. And they said, well, and it'll be live. It'll be the first live. There were other syndicated gospel shows at the time, but they weren't live syndicated. So they said, you'll have the first syndicated live gospel show in the country. I'm like, okay, that's extra pressure. Okay. And so I did. It was called Gospel Inspirations. Launched it in 1999. No, let's see. No, I launched it in 89. And I did it for 10 years. During that 10-year period, I was always talking to them and saying, you know what? You got 9 other formats. You've got country, you've got rock, you've got urban oldies, you've got Tom Jones, You know, you've got all these folks, Doug Banks, but you need a 24-hour gospel format. So at the time, there was already one in place. And it took me 10 years to convince them that they should start a gospel network. And I sat in the office with the VP of marketing for ABC. He said, okay, we've got to come up with a name. I said, okay, I'll come up with 2 hours. 2 hours later, we came up with Rejoice Musical Soul Food. And Rejoice Musical Soul Food was launched June 1999. And wonderful experience. We had over 50, 55, 60 affiliates, and great experience. ABC did some reorganization. They were purchased, or a portion of it was purchased, Citadel and so forth. And so they did cutbacks on their formats. And my format was one of the formats that they had decided to cut. And so at ABC, our format was kind of like the faith format. It was the format there that everybody would come to us, ask us about, you know, if we could pray for them, lean on us, tell us, vent, whatever. And they knew we would take our issues and problems, their issues and problems to God. And we did. And it kind of changed the model of the way they did things at ABC by having a faith-based format in-house. They learned a lot. They learned to respect the format, respect who we were. We didn't try to hide who we were. You know, when the first National Day of Prayer came along, I said, okay, it's National Day of Prayer. We go pray in our studio. We go, and anybody can come into the studio and do it. My boss was kind of a little leery. He's like, okay, I'm going to tell him I didn't know anything about it. You can do it. You can tell him you didn't know anything about it, but it's National Prayer Day. And so we go pray, and this is a gospel format, so we go pray. So we did. It was people all outside the studio, VPs. Wow. It was just massive. So afterwards, they gave me the largest boardroom there to have the National Day of Prayer, because they're like, okay, we see a lot of people are embracing it, so we're going to let her go in and do her thing. So anyway, the format made an impact before it was discontinued. But then after it was discontinued, right before ABC decided to pull the plug, our affiliates, a group of our affiliates got together and said, you know what? We love this format. We're going to invest our money. We're going to keep it going. And they did. The affiliates took over Rejoice Musical Soul Food, and then it was owned by the affiliates. And so did that for, I was with them, let's see, from 06. That's when ABC decided to let it go, to 09. And then after leaving Rejoice, I had decided I had been in radio for all these years, syndication radio since 1980, 89. And I said, okay, I can do this myself. So in June of 2009, I launched my own syndicated show, Beyond the Praise, which is currently still running at this time. So that is my story.
Wow. I mean, the fact that you had to, your boss said, I didn't know nothing about it.
I said, okay.
But it worked.
I can hide who I am. I'm not
that's right.
Deny Jesus 3 times or whatever. I am who I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I do have another question. What obstacles can you ladies say that you faced? I know that a lot of in corporate America, it's very male dominant. I'm pretty sure even in gospel music, I'm actually learning about more women that are in the industry every day, but it's still kind of, some of the decision makers is kind of male heavy. So share what obstacles you've had and how you've overcome and how you can inspire a young lady watching or a young girl that may see this broadcast later and to do what you do. So whoever wants to go first can do that.
I've had some obstacles. They necessarily haven't been with people. They've been with balance. Okay. So I've been married going on 24 years. So I've had to balance being married. And then I have 2 children. They're 16 and 20. So they were born into this industry, right? I've had to balance travel. There's been times where I was on tours with artists, sometimes doing 50, 60 trips a year. And that was pretty standard. And so that's where my faith came in, my prayer life. And the Bible says there's safety in a multitude of counsel. So sometimes would have to seek counsel, talk to my husband, talk to my pastor, talk to, different friends who are already in the industry, what should I do? And Vicky McLeod, who I'll talk about when we talk about Shiro, said, Tracy, you need a nanny. So when Jasmine was born, I had really thought about stepping away. This was my first child. She's 20 now, and a sophomore at Paul in Chicago. And so that's what I did. I got a nanny in the nanny trip with me. That helped me. And I really began to think that, it's okay for me to ask for help. I can't do everything, It was called a housekeeper because I still wanted to have this home to return to. Inviting my husband and including him, though he works in a totally different industry, development. And so that's been some of my struggle, or that was. But if I can say one of the things that balanced it out is when I became an owner of my own company. I was no longer working for someone. That was the best leap of faith that I could have ever done. Because once I did that and I took control of my career, I no longer had to worry so much about the balance. If I didn't want to travel, I didn't have to. I may send another staff person to be there. Or I may call Nicole and come and say, hey, Nicole, I have an artist coming through. Can you assist with this? And so that has been some of my struggle. All the people that I wrote down through the years really have been phenomenal. Yes, we've worked in the male-driven industry, and at different times we've seen different groups of leaders at different labels. Sometimes it may be more male-driven. JoJo and I can remember being at Verity and Siegel being at the helm. But then we remember Tracy Jordan being at the helm, But there was always a powerful group of women running the industry. And I can go back 30 years and name them. So always keeping the flow of gospel music going were women. Because when you talk about Verity, it was named by Demetria Stewart Alexander. She gave Verity its name. So there's always been women making moves.
That's good. That was good.
Well, since we popping in there, since Tracy mentioned my name, I'm gonna go ahead and say something. One of the things when you're called to this, you really have to be called to this. It's not this is not a simple place to be in. For me, I didn't have as sweet as a journey because I told you I would start off as a rapper, and I've dealt with sometimes when people say you're gonna bust hell wide open with your rapping self, and I was like, but Lord, I mean, I'm called to do, I said Jesus 17 times in the rap, and you try to, if I Jesus it is acceptable. So, and I remember one time at a festival here locally called the Columbus Gospel Fest, I remember being on stage. This was probably 92, 93. And this beautiful old woman came up. She says, you're such a pretty girl, but you keep doing that rapping stuff, you're going to bust hell wide open. I'm going to need you to stop doing that rap, tap, tap. That's not God. But when you're called to this, and you're seeing that other companies, they get the movement is with the alcohol, they get money from them, they get money from club owners, they get all of that. There was times where I was kind of doing both. I was doing both. I would help club owners and stuff like that, bring in VIPs like New Edition, and I would be backstage and helping. There's hundreds and hundreds of artists I can name, LL Cool J, all of them, and but I saw that there was a lack of support and promotions in the area of gospel music. And that was the genre that rescued me when I was crying and stuff. I didn't really pick up. I picked up, what I say, Fred Hammond's commission for, something like that, or the Winans or something like that. That's what helped me get through when I was younger. And so I'm crying and rapping when people say you're gonna bust hell wide open, but I'm like, I'm still gonna do it. I don't care. And God kept giving me lyrics. And really, those was the struggles. And sometimes when you look at the other industries, they're easier to go to because you have so many more vehicles and outlets that you can get dollars and promotions from, because you can go to the club, you can go to the alcohol places, you can go to cigarette places, beer places, and all that stuff and get money. And people don't mind throwing money at that particular genre. But the genre that rescues and delivers and set people free and calls people to really embrace a God that that loves them no matter where they're located is the realm of gospel music. And that's when I knew, that I had to help beyond just being an artist or just beyond being, I had to help from a perspective of, you gotta grind harder. You gotta push, you gotta do unusual pushing. You gotta take the flyers places that flyers don't go. You gotta go into the barbershops, beauty shops. You gotta go to the highways and byways and to the streets, because this genre of music is the one that, wanted to be where people didn't come and give their life to the Lord when they were old. I wanted people to be their lifestyle. So I decided that sometimes I would, get in my car and drive places and just help people for free. And I found that when people saw that, I started getting paid for it. So then they said, "What else you do, little girl?" And I said, "Well, I rap." "Well, I'll put you up." And I started opening up for just some amazing artists. The list is too long. But the bottom line to it is that although my start was unique and seemed difficult, the finish, to see the artists that you see, that you grow up with, that you've helped promote, like your Mary Marys, like your Kurt Franklins and stuff like that, to see them doing superstar, life-changing, game-changing things and going places and meeting people and being a part of presidents and leaderships is because of taking the groundwork. You are seed in that. And sometimes you can't be afraid of being the shoulders that somebody can stand on, because everybody gets credit. That's the thing that I love about God, that all of us get credit for the little part that we participate in. Right. Like your Tracy Ardis, who opens up doors and say, "Baby, take this microphone and interview some people." The people who, there's too many people to name that has opened up doors, especially as women in this industry, who have been kind and given platforms. And that's what we should do. So that's kind of, my start and my finish. And I think I said everything else in between.
Anyone else want to touch on obstacles? Because we got some questions in the comments, and they're good.
I wanted to touch on obstacles. I really don't use that word. I stopped using it years ago. An obstacle means something is blocked.
Come on.
No one can block what God has for you.
So preach it. Come on, Willie May.
So instead of using the word obstacles, I prefer to use the word challenges.
Okay.
You will have a difficult task is a challenge, but I don't have obstacles because nothing's going to stop me. Okay. So anyway, some challenges that I've had, which have already been mentioned by some of you as well, is being a woman, being an African-American woman, being a Christian woman. Those were all challenges that I had, but they're challenges that didn't stop me from being the best that I could be in my craft. I still honed in on my craft. I still studied, researched, did everything that a quote unquote man would do. Now we don't get the salaries that they get, but we do the same job, and hopefully one day that'll catch up. But in the meantime, I honed in on my craft and even studied under some quote unquote some men as well. Look, how do you do this? What do you do for that, or whatever? And would start to do and operate in the same fashion that they did and learn the same things that they did. So when opportunities came along, jobs came along, I was able to project my skills, and that got me past she's a woman, she's an African-American woman, she's a Christian woman.
And that's interesting that you mentioned the salary gap. Like there's still a concern with the salary gap in the industry. So we have it corporate across the board in like regular corporate America, but to know that it's also in the gospel industry, and with Miss Tracy stating like it's been women pushing it along, but yet you still are not compensated the same. Wow. That's a good point. Anyone else want to touch on challenges, not obstacles?
Right.
Nothing's blocked. Listen, the doors of the church are already open with Miss Willie May. She came in here. She said, no. Let's be clear. There's no such thing as obstacle on tonight.
Willie May can do that, honey. She's done so much in the industry. You almost go see, yes, ma'am. Yes, okay, yes, ma'am. We won't say obstacles.
Challenges. Amen.
So now I gotta eliminate that from my vocabulary. Thank you, Willie May, for making me think.
Yes, that's a good point. Good point. Well, I'm gonna take a question from our audience. We have one from Miss Legina. Considering your years of perseverance, can you share a time you had to overcome doubt that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and how did you overcome? Anybody want to take that question?
I can.
I think I answered a little bit. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, thank you. Well, I can. I think one of the things I was at Verity for several years. I was there for almost going on 7 years. And I decided to leave, just kind of what people thought was out of the blue. And I just want to apologize to the audience and the panel. So I come off camera every once in a while because I have a dog. And this dog is like having a infant and a toddler who doesn't listen and doesn't understand what you're saying. So you might see him pop up every once in a while right over here. But I want to say that just in terms of the question, there was a lot of doubt about me leaving the label, and people were really shocked. Like, why would you leave such a great label job? It's the biggest gospel label, and start your own, and blah blah blah. And I just think that, what's really important is to pay attention to like the seasons of your life, and really know that even if somebody isn't telling you, just kind of pay attention to the signs and kind of what's happening around you, and just being in tune to where you are supposed to go next. And so I think that was one time that I was really worried about it. Just financially, I had doubt about what was going to be next. But it honestly ended up being one of the best decisions I've ever made. I think, speaking to what Tracy was saying earlier, just in terms of entrepreneurship, and being able to make your own decisions and calling your own shots and deciding who you want to work and who you don't want to work with. All of those things have come into play, and that's been part of the great thing of entrepreneurship and, being faithful to my decision.
Wow, that's good.
Well, I'll jump in on this one here. I don't think there was ever a time where I had to say to myself, I doubt that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. A lot of people don't know that, along with working with radio, I've always worked another full-time job. And, I did digital marketing with a lot of different companies that were involved with the internet and so forth. And something always happened with these companies. It was like either something happened and financially they had a downturn or something else was going on. But my constant had always been, with the radio and with the people. And realizing that there were so many people who were in need that even when I myself was in need, I put it aside and, I had to deal with the needs of the public. I mean, oftentimes, and I guess I didn't speak last time to the challenges, but one of the challenges is that when you're on the air, people assume that you don't ever have challenges, that you don't have any problems. And, in the time that I had been on the air in 20 years, I'd say in the past 10 years, I lost my entire immediate family. And, I was on the air every single day, still encouraging people and still having people come to me and saying, God bless you and your family. And, not even considering it's like, you never heard me mention or, family, anything like that. So, I know that it is part of my mission in this life to be there for God's people in whatever capacity he'll have me in whichever season it is. But, there's never been a doubt in my mind that, this one constant is there for a reason, and being with God constantly is there for a reason.
That's good. That's good. So we got another question. I don't know, Ms. Tracy, if you wanted to piggyback on that question at all in regards to overcoming your perseverance and things. I'll put it back up for you if you had anything to add, because we have another question about relationships between public relations coming up. So
yeah, I never questioned that I was supposed to be doing what I'm doing. I will say, you get close to your artists, they become like family. I've been to funerals, baptisms, weddings, and so there have been times where I had to really, just stop and take a deep breath. Okay, you gotta keep doing what you're doing, and sometimes you have to consider these people are, they're humans. They have challenges in their life just like you. But I never thought about stepping away. I have just, decided very early on in my career, this is what I was called to. And so when Nicole hit on that earlier, that really struck me, because I've always told people there are people that are called, and then there are people that are, they come, right? And then the difference, because there's people that will stay, and then there's people that will leave. So for all the women here, all of us have been in it because I believe we were called to it.
Mhm.
And so someone
That's
else
good.
talked about seasons. It's just so true. I've been through different seasons in my life because when I started working in the industry, I wasn't married, I was single, right? And then I got married and then I had children. Last year I lost my mother pretty suddenly. And she was also, very, very a good friend of mine, that happened later in life. Okay. We went from mother and daughter to becoming good friends. So had seasons, but never thought about stepping away. But I have had times where I had to kind of step away, take time for me, know that it's okay on vacation, you know, and know that it's all right. Specifically, the role that I sit in as founder and CEO of my company, it's all right for me to have a voice. Sometimes when I was working at labels, decisions were made for me. A record was chosen for me. And like Doug said earlier, it's a good seat to be in because I pick and choose who I want to work with. So God's been kind.
That's good. That was good, Miss Tracy. I received all of that. She got us right together. So the next question comes from Mr. Damon. How important is relationship between public relations, publicity, and the radio format, specifically within the gospel music industry?
Come
Well,
on, Trace, that's me and you.
All right. Let's do this, JoJo.
Well, I'll just say I know that it's very important, especially in the gospel format, and especially now. I think with the influx of digital and the rise in independent artists. I think that I always tell people and clients and people who call me, publicity can never exist in a vacuum, so it can never be by itself. But then also, it's a piece of the pie. It's a piece of the marketing pie. You can't just have publicity. You can't just have radio. Um,
Mhm.
all things have to work together, right? And I think that gospel radio and publicity are really two of the key things. And now along with social media and digital marketing are the three things that are like super important now that can really engage fans and get the music out there.
So can I speak to radio? So publicity and radio, JoJo and I have worked a ton of projects together down through the years. And normally, if you have a great team, it's seamless. So I haven't had any challenges with the two coming together. Here's what I tell people. My job starts with a great song. If you give me a great song, I can move the record because of people like Willie May Mckyber and Meta Washington and Dave Dickinson doing what they do with Kurt Franklin's Praise. Nicole, you having a radio show and being connected to radio stations there in Columbus, Ohio. Dojo and I sometimes overlap, but it's a good thing because as a publicist, she also has syndicated shows on her list, just like me. So if she connects with the Eric Campbell Morning Show, I am ecstatic because that means artist has radio airplay there. And then I go knock on another door to get an opportunity, right? So publicity and radio, as she said, digital marketing go hand in hand. But also, you have to have a solid artist, and you need a team around artists, wardrobe, makeup, right? Road managing. The country's going to open back up. We see some of our artists already moving across the country now. But for me, gospel radio, it starts with a great song and just working the song and believing in it all the way through and not getting weary and well doing. There have been times when I've had songs and I, didn't move exactly the way I wanted to, but God always came through. And I chased the song to the very end and always will.
That's good. And I love what you stated as far as having a good team. And it seems like Ms. JoJo and Ms. Tracy work together. So leading into my next question. So I bet there's some supporting there. So what's the importance of women supporting other women in this industry? Like you guys seem like before we started, you were all like, hi, hearts. I was like, awesome. You guys work together, share the importance of that support.
Well, I'll speak to that. I can't say enough about the relationships. The gospel industry is very small to begin with. We see each other, continually. We hear each other's names constantly. And it really would behoove you to be a support to others in order to receive support yourselves. I work with, pretty much each of the ladies here. Nicole, we got to work together at some point. I'm ready to do some rapping, girl. So I'll let you know about that. But nevertheless, I digress. But, seriously, working with like Tracy and, a radio promoter that I know she knows her stuff. And when she comes, it's already screened. It's like, I don't have to worry about who the artist is. JoJo will come and, talk about some tight publicity. It's like, I have everything I need. I try to do my best to have everything already buttoned up because, I know the agenda or, rather the goal of each of their positions and how I fit into it and how I can work with them to achieve what they're trying to do. So when they come with an artist or come with a song, I already know, this is the end game here. It's not about me sounding good on the air or, making small talk with the artist. There's some dollars and cents here that are behind this decision, and I am there to help realize that goal.
Wow. Anybody else want to talk about?
I want to piggyback off of her. I come from an unusual direction. So although what I do is like, for instance, when Tracy drops an artist or anybody, when I hear Willie May say something on the radio or something from each of those ladies, what I do is like, for instance, I had a comedy show, this at the Funny Bone for 9 years. Well, when people are coming into the comedy show, all they're hearing is the latest stuff that they're talking about or what they're hearing about. And I go into unusual markets to open up the opportunity. I create festivals or events so that I can play the music because that familiarity helps push the music to another place. And then also look for unique ways to help with promotions. So for instance, you might see somebody take, and I've done this on several occasions, take a person's poster who just dropped the album and put it on my car and just go to a location of the most seen location in the city and put up some speakers and create a event around it. We have to, as industry people and leaders, we have to be the ones. I'm the one that like creating unique, unusual possibilities. Like for instance, at my rap concerts, you might, as you walking in, you'll hear Kirk Franklin, you'll hear, Byron Cage or somebody's latest project that dropped, because we have a responsibility in this industry to make sure we keep moving things forward. And a lot of times it's that, unusual, or I will do a skate party. I'll rent out a skating rink and say, everybody come to the skating rink. Let's come and listen to this new album or this new song. The reason why we have to do that, because sometimes, and these ladies could contest to this, sometimes you got to spend your own money because of the fact that when people don't think that this industry is a money-driven industry, and it really is. It's worth investing into this industry. So I have proven and try to show, different people to take the dollars and invest in this industry. So we need you to take your $25,000, your $10,000, and just be a sponsor, creating unique sponsorship opportunities for organizations. That's the direction that we have to go into. Or for instance, like Willie May, we would go take the radio station. Y'all remember the boombox, honey, put it on the corner and the voice you hear will be Willie May. She's coming on air live. You do that as an initiative and incentive to get people excited. You take your Erica Campbell's, your Yolanda Adams, and you open up unusual opportunities, rent out bowling alleys or whatever. We do things in a way that other people don't think about doing it because we create our own movement, and we see that movement makes a difference. So that's kind of how I kind of want to throw my little 3 cents in there on how I take these ladies with me where I go.
I love it.
There's definitely synergy amongst us, and we're kind of like a family. We help each other have Black Girl Magic. So not only in the business side of what we're doing, but even in our personal lives, we will interact personally, not just on the business side, and help each other out with other projects that we're doing, other things we're doing outside of our jobs. And so I like that camaraderie about how women are just kind of sticking together, because we know if we don't help each other, nobody's going to help us. We have to do it for ourselves, and we have to do it together. So it's not about a competition thing. It's about us doing it together.
I love, like I said, I love when they didn't get to see this, the audience, but when everyone came on, everyone was just excited to see each other, and you could just feel the love and the authenticity, the I'm trying to get the word out, but the love between each of you, and that you all genuinely care about each other, want everyone to do well. We're talking about upcoming projects, sharing. I'm like, we hadn't even started. We almost started talking, we almost started the interview or the conversation before we even went live, because you guys were just so excited to see each other and express how much you guys support each other. So the audience, I mean, it's this, what you see is literally what it is. Like, before we even hit live, this is what was happening. So I think that's amazing.
It's been a while since we've seen each other, so
Right.
it's a treat to see everybody. But yeah, I mean, certainly in gospel, I think that there's a lot of really strong and capable, confident, relevant women executives across the board at the label side, certainly, obviously, at radio, on the promotion side, in publicity. So yeah, I think that. As Mita said, it's a small world. Many of us have been in it for quite some time. And so it's important to keep relationships. I mean, I see Willie May on here. I might have to call her back later to make sure she got my press release.
Right.
It's important.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sisterhood, though. It's a sisterhood.
No, Willie May is really my sister. I mean, I'm in New York. She is over in Texas, and I just keep in touch with her. And,
That's awesome.
If I need to cry on a shoulder, a long distance shoulder, that would be Willie May.
All that too. Yeah, it's personal. It's a sisterhood.
That's right.
I love this. Y'all are going. This is dope. So now that we're talking about the sisterhood, can you share any of your women influences in the industry or just in general? And if you have a particular shero? Anybody?
Well, I'll start. On the personal side, my heroes, sheroes, and influencers started in my family with my mom. My mom was a very strong person, valedictorian of her high school, very smart. I mean, she did her thing. So she was an influencer for me growing up, as well as my older sister. She too, sharp, kept me on track in school, worked out my class schedules for me, what she thought I should have to succeed. And I went along with it. So those were two ladies that were very instrumental of coming in my life. And then as far as like industry wise, one of my sheroes is Kathy Hughes. I actually worked for a year, did consulting for her station in DC and Baltimore for a little over a year, her gospel stations there. And so 1 week out of every month, I would be in the Baltimore, DC area. This was in about 95, 96, helping her with those two stations. And I just kind of always watched her over the years and how she conducted business, how she grew her empire. So she's definitely one of my sheroes. One of my sheroes in my head is Oprah Winfrey. So I just kind of watched her over the years and kind of followed her path from Baltimore to where she is now. So those are just some of the sheroes in my life.
That's good. Thank you, Miss Willie May.
Well, I have a few. Nita Washington might be familiar with one of them, but I've had several really great mentor bosses in my life. I mentioned one, Terry Williams, at the beginning. Again, she was a pioneer in African American publicity, but also Tracy Jordan, who is over at Sirius XM. Yes. So Tracy was one of the co-owners of Motown Cafe when I was over there, and since she had a wealth of experience and a wealth of contacts, she had come from Arista Records, and she opened her book to us and introduced me to a ton of people in the industry and just walked me through a ton of doors. And even to this day, when I see her at Sirius XM, she will not fail to remind the people that I used to work for her at Motown Cafe. Yes. So I wanted to shout those two out, and then all of the women that I've come in contact with just in the publicity world that have certainly poured into me and helped me and advised me and taught me and reprimanded me, or all those things. There's been a ton of them. So yeah.
Well, I've had quite a few myself, starting with, family members that are no longer with me. My mother, my big sister, and my grandmother. I used to call them my three musketeers, and those ladies were tough. They didn't play games, and what you saw was what you got, and there was no room for excuses. One of the things I think I learned from my big sister was, don't get in the habit of making excuses, and things like that, pieces of advice that stay with me, even to this day. I don't find myself making excuses. I make a way, and I allow God to help me make that way. But I watch grown people get bogged down in one excuse after another as to why they're not doing things or why they do things. And I said, I'm so glad for that piece of advice that I had received early on. As far as people that I've worked with, I'd say my former PD, Pat McKay. She may never ever hear this, but Pat was tough. I loved it. She could get up in somebody's face when things were. If she wanted to fight for you, she could fight for you. Okay, and she'd go tooth and nail. And she just had such strong integrity and just such courage to stand up for the things that she believed in. And if she was on your side and felt that you had more to contribute, she would get behind me and be fighting. Even if I'd say, okay, Pat, I think I'm all right now. It's like, no, we got to keep fighting, So, I mean, I really learned a lot from her. And, she's no longer on the gospel side, but, she's still very much, an influence over, my career at Sirius XM.
That's great. Miss Tracy?
Yes. So my shero will forever be my mother, Susan Upton Farley. Light of my life. She's been gone 11 months now, but she left me everything I need to survive. And she just was an amazing woman. She became the mayor of the community and served for 20 years that she grew up in, traveled to South Africa several times, helped build a school there. And her legacy lives on. Left 6 amazing children, sent us all college, and she was just a wonderful woman. In the music industry, Vicky McLatia, Teresa Harrison, Demetra Stewart Alexander, Wandelin Stokes, just to name a few. I love Miss Kathy Hughes, have worked for her during my career. Her Willie May mentioned her and reached out to her recently just to say hello. And so, yeah, all those persons that I named, I expect and look up to and keep in touch with. That's something that I want to share with everybody that's listening. Relationships are huge in this industry, and you really only have two kind, good or bad. There's really much in between. So I tell everybody, once you connect with someone, even if you haven't had an opportunity to see them in a while, there's so many ways to communicate. So I love shows. I know that I stand on their shoulders. I've had a chance to honor so many of them through various platforms that I have. But yes, and even in my family, I have strong aunts, 2 sisters, that are both amazing. And so, but it did all start with my mother. Yeah, my shero, like I say, she's been gone 11 months, but we'll never ever forget her.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to agree. Tracy's mom definitely was a shero. She was doll baby sweet and a powerhouse and a mayor of a whole city. But so she cold blooded. I want to throw out there. Well, my mom was my shero. She is in the Hall of Fame of Jazz, and she taught me radio events. She taught me to pursue and believe who I believe in, push them. I have to give my mom, of course, a shout out. She's been gone for 11 years. I want to give my cousin Mana Jean. She used to call me Nikki Giovanni because I was rapping, and she said, "Hey, you could do some poetry." So Nikki Giovanni, Mana Jean is my cousin. Renee Glover. When I came on board with the Columbus Gospel Fest 100,000 years ago, she is someone who is definitely my shero. She prayed for me. Pam Perry taught me about, learning about the industry, marketing, pushing and promoting. I've been a part of Pam Perry's email list for 45,000 years, but she is just a tremendous powerhouse. The email marketing queen, I can't think of her name right now, who has Black Gospel Promo. She and I have, yes, she is a doll baby. Her and I have a child with special needs, and we talk. And she, throughout the years, she has been an amazing gift. She taught about email marketing and how I just would forward her emails to my email database, because that was just a unique, at the time she started with something very unique. God's girl, Dawn Mosby, she was the radio personality here who would open up opportunities for me to be able to be on radio with her. Nina Taylor, also with 1580 WBKO, 100,000 years ago. We did Hands Across America. Y'all know that on this line. So that's how long ago. And then a person who is near and dear to my heart forever, who is doll baby sweet to me, is Tracy Ardis. Tracy, every time that I seen her, no matter what city, she would just embrace me and open up doors and let me get a chance to meet artists, talk to artists, be on stage, be backstage, be in every capacity. She is just, I had the pleasure of meeting Tracy. It's been 20 years with the Gospel Superfest back in 2001. And every single time she's consistent, she's amazing. And I just doll baby love her. She's one of my true sheroes. I like bragging and saying I'm the Tracy Ardis of Columbus. So it just feels good to be able to, be. And then of course the sisters that are on here, I've been following y'all's careers for a long time. And sometimes, some people don't know that they're sheroes, but you guys on here, the publicist queen is just amazing with JoJo. Willie May kept me up in the mornings and let me know that you just was an amazing gift to the music industry and showing that gospel music is relevant and is necessary and there is business in it. And of course, my sister in all the way in New York, you are a gift beyond words. Sometimes you don't know the ripple effect that you have in people's lives, but I just want to say that you sisters inspired me to the person that I am today. And those are my sheroes. I'm on with some. I got a chance to shout out some, and there it is.
I am just excited. We're at an hour, so I don't want to keep anybody. But my last question, if you could just give advice on what you would give your younger self or share with a young woman who may be interested in going into the field of gospel music, whether they're artists, PR, radio, promotions, what would you tell a young woman or even your younger self?
Go
ahead, Ms. Tracy.
I would tell my younger self to take care of me. So make sure along the way that you're taking time out for you. You won't be good for anyone if you haven't taken care of yourself. Also, to younger persons listening audience that want to break into the industry, reach out. A young lady worked for me for many years, and she and I still do things together. Her name is Vanessa Darby, and she saw Radio One.
That's my girl.
She saw Radio One had an article about me in their magazine, and she read it. And so she read the article and saw ways to contact me. She reached out to me. And I had an opening at I Hear Music at the time, and I hired her to come and work in my marketing division. And she worked with I Hear Music for several years. And she had interned with Motown. So Motown had a position open after she had worked with me for several years. And she went on to Nashville, Tennessee to work for them, and now has her own company. And just very near and dear to me. When my mother passed, even when she was in the passing stages and under hospice care, Vanessa was one of the first people that I reached out to. And she helped me put my mother's obituary together. And so just an amazing woman. So she is an example of, she read this article about me and wanted to come work for I Hear Music, and God afforded her the opportunity. And so I would say to persons who want to break into the industry, reach out to people that work in your area of the industry. And I guarantee you, you are probably going to get connected with people like us on this panel who will reach back out to you. I called Willie May this morning just to let you know all of us are connected, because I was thinking about her. I hadn't heard from her in a couple
Yeah.
weeks, but we usually communicate weekly or
Right.
bi-weekly, and she hit
Yeah,
me right back. So
I
this
did.
industry is small and we're connected, and most of us have a genuine love and care for one another. So I just admonish the persons who are listening that want to come into the industry again, just reach out. Just reach out.
Yeah, I will definitely echo that. I think Tracy hit it right on the head. I mean, just specific to publicity, it's not an easy profession. You get more no's and you get yeses, but learn what it is, learn the craft, learn how to write. Like Tracy said, reach out to people that are in the business that you look up to or that you think are doing a great job. Learn how they got there. Follow their journey. Keep your ears open. Always be learning. I mean, even now, I try to read as much as I can about publicity in this new age, because I want to make sure that I still can keep doing what I know to do, but in a modern way. I've been doing it for almost 30 years, so I can't possibly not have more to learn. So I would say to my younger self, I'd probably tell her, like, don't do it, but just kidding. No, I would tell her, it'll be okay. Like, you will make a tremendous amount of mistakes, but it's okay.
That's good.
I think my younger self likes that advice too. Um, that every mistake is not necessarily the end
Yes,
of your life. I
yes.
mean, I have been tremendously hard on myself for mistakes in
Hmm.
the past and have lived through it and moved on. So, I mean, if I had taken that advice earlier, I would have moved on from things earlier, drop it, let it go. I would say to someone that's getting into the business, you don't have to worry about someone getting the opportunity that's meant for you. I mean, truly, what God has for you is for you. There is no amount of clawing somebody back that's going to keep them from where they're supposed to be or keep you where you are intended to be. So, I mean, we have made our way in this business as a family by sharing with one another. And I can honestly say that I've lost nothing for ever sharing, something that could help somebody else get ahead. And, surely I've been made greater for the information that people have shared with me in return.
Wow. You
I
guys
would
are
say to my younger self, be bold. Don't be afraid. And I would tell people, get in the industry early. This is a wonderful industry to be in. You won't lose. There's nothing like being in an industry where you feel good at the end of the day. Other genres I've been around, and there will be people who on stage, they come off stage like, man, I wish I wasn't doing this. This is an industry you don't have to say that in. This industry, actually, you can be proud of everybody that goes out on that stage because they're sharing something that's life changing and something that will stick and stay with them, and that's game changing for life. Also, don't be afraid to create opportunities and go hard and knock on unusual doors. You will find that some people be willing to invest in ways because as us as African Americans, it's our culture, and there's organizations and companies that will invest into your culture. So this is the best time more than ever because the platform is a plethora of platforms for you to do. When we first started out, honey, we had to hear stuff, word of mouth, jump on the freeway and use download a map and look at the map. Now you got Google and everything else to get you where you need to go. So you can show up to events, and sometimes don't be afraid to volunteer. That's one of the things that I was able with my younger self, volunteering things. Let people see that you're consistent and that you're serious. Don't try to be in the front. When it's time for your gift to be seen, it'll open up itself, because when people see you enough, then they'll say, what else do you do? And they'll open up opportunities. Don't be afraid to sweep up after the time is over with. Some of the greatest opportunities that happened to me to be backstage and stuff is because I stayed and cleaned up after everybody left, and I was able to connect with music people, industry people, and I was able to see superstars at the end who gave me advice. That's the best way that you can get in. So don't look at, if you're not in the front, that's not the work that you need to be. Sometimes being behind the scenes will let you lead to the front. So I would tell my younger self kind of what I'm already doing. just don't be afraid to help out, and everybody shines the better that the more that you're available to do stuff. And don't look at anything that's small. Look at whatever people ask you to do as something great, because you'll look up later on in life and you're on a panel such as this saying, hey, I'm amongst the great women. What? So, that's what it's about. It's about just being available and being willing to be used like fluid, and just let God use you fluidly.
That's good.
And I guess I would say what I would tell my younger self is what I tell myself now, is that what God has for me is for me, and nobody can take it away from you. So if you keep that mentality, that's what has carried me through the years, and that's what's still carrying me now. I don't worry about what other people got. I worry about what God's got for me, and I work what God has got for me. Now, what I would tell somebody coming into the business or thinking they want to come into the business is, before you do it and put all your eggs in that basket, have a conversation with God. Pray, fast, ask God if this is your calling as to what you want to do. Because everybody's not meant to be, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but everybody's not meant to be a gospel recording artist. Some people are meant to sing in their choir. Some people like me are meant to sing in the shower. I can't go that.
Willie May, it's Willie May.
But just make sure you have that conversation with God. You pray and fast and ask him if this is the business you are supposed to get into, the business that he wants you to get into. And then once you all have come to terms with that, don't give up. Make it happen.
Well, you guys heard it here first, and I know some of these amazing women. I'm just honored on behalf of Gospel Central and Talks with Toya. We honor you for Women's History Month as successful women in gospel music. I know, Miss Tracy, you have June 20th coming up. I Hear Music in the Air. So you want to talk about it? It's a drive-in. I know you did it in October last year. I wasn't able to come. I think it was my birthday or something I had going on. So, but I'm going to make it. I won't be there this time. I was there the year prior. I was there in 19. Okay. I'll be there. But tell us about it.
Okay, so for 18 years, every third weekend of May, we've had I Hear Music in the Air. We always kick off with our gospel concert. Saturday, we have our workshop classes and our youth summit. And on Sunday, every year, we have our Legends Ball. And we every year, God meets us. We've had some amazing artists attend, everybody from Mary to Tamala Mann, Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, Donnie McClurkin, Hezekiah Walker, Byron Cage, Jay Moss. I really don't know anybody that hasn't been here. Dorinda Clark Cole. So we just had, a great run. So year 19, we were at the height of COVID when May came. So we moved it to October. We had a drive-in concert. And last year we had Lowell Pye, we had Keela Richardson, Demetrius West from Indianapolis, and John P. Key headline. It was an amazing night. And this year, Sunday, June 20th, we'll have a drive-in experience on the grounds of Corinthian Baptist Church. And I'm excited about it. We may do some virtual components, but we are confirmed for our gospel concert drive-in on Sunday, June 20th. And so Fred will be here, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to host him again. He's been here with us several times. I've had him here on other platforms as well, but it's exciting. We had United Centers one year, and that was one of my favorite years. I'll never get that year. Family and United Centers came. So yeah, thank you for the shout out, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and this is 20 years for you. So congratulations on all your hard work. Like, we need to throw some love up, some hand claps and stuff in the comments.
Yeah.
And you're doing it in the Midwest, which is amazing.
Yeah. I've had an amazing team. Yeah, I've had an amazing team, and the city embraces it. And people come from everywhere. I mean, we have a delegation that has come every year from Dayton, from Columbus, from Indianapolis, from Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. So we have people come from all over the country, literally. But this region, thanks to Nicole and others, have really, really supported I Hear Music down through the years. And God's never told me to stop. So once it does, I'm just going to keep coming back because I love the genre of music that I work in. Love gospel music.
And I would love to have you back and some of the artists too, so we can definitely set up some time throughout the May to promote for June. I'm excited. And then Miss Willie May, your show Beyond the Praise is available on YouTube, correct? And you're muted, Miss Willie May. Let me unmute you. There you. Oh, you gotta unmute yourself, Miss Willie May.
So
There we go.
Praise is nationally syndicated on terrestrial radio stations
Mm-hmm.
around the country. I'm on in 30 plus markets. And if you're interested, if there's a station program director or director of operations out there that's interested in carrying my program, please hit me up on Facebook under Willie May Mckyber, and I'll send you all the information.
Now that's how you do it right there. I love Miss Willie May. And then Miss Mita, you have a book. So any independent artists that are watching or you're interested, or if you're managing or doing PR, there's a book that we should be getting.
Absolutely. It's called Cracking the Code, What Gospel Indie Artists Need to Know. And definitely it's a need to know book. It only is available in ebook, and there's a reason for that, because I intend for it to be an evergreen book, so that if anything changes in the industry, I mean, we're in the midst of a pandemic. We don't know, what the shifts in music might be a month from now. And if anything changes majorly, I can always go into the ebook and make the change. And for your $9.99, you got a book that's still relevant for now and forever. So
that's brilliant.
Pick it up on Amazon. And I am going to throw this in there that when it was released, I wound up being #1 for Christian new releases on Amazon. And I was so shocked.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Thank you.
So we've got to have you come back just to talk about the book. I got to
Sounds
have
good
you
to
back.
me.
So I'll get with Michael and we'll do that. So thank you all for joining us again. Don't forget June 20th, if you want to make it down to Cincinnati, Ohio, to support Miss Tracy Ardis with I Hear Music in the Air. With Miss JoJo, I know Brian Courtney Wilson has his show, I believe. So
every Thursday night. Please tune in. Tomorrow night he'll be live with Kelly Price. And then next week, he'll be live with Travis Green. So tune in Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on Brian Courtney Wilson's official Facebook page.
It has a title. You didn't give it to us, JoJo.
Oh, my bad. Oh, see, I'm terrible at this.
That's why I'm your PR person.
Thank you. It's called Breathe Again with Brian Courtney Wilson.
Listen, stop by. And then again, Miss Willie May, she's on several markets. But if you're I don't think you're here in Ohio yet, are you, Miss Willie May? I haven't.
I'm not on in Ohio, but I'd love to be on in Ohio. So let me know what I do to make that happen.
Lady Extreme's right here, and Miss Tracy.
Absolutely.
They are the ones. But I also do catch your items, your shows and recordings on your YouTube channel too. As well. Those are if until she's here, at least in the Ohio Midwest region, don't forget to check her out there. And Mr. Michael has a little note for you all.
Yes.
Thank you so much for what you do in the industry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, well, we thank
Michael. My heart together for him. It's getting there. I've been practicing for over a year now. Yeah, I'm practicing still. There you go. Mine is a donut. Mine is a pretzel right now.
Mine's like a circle.
But the heart is there.
Listen.
The sentiment is there, but it doesn't look like a circle.
Right. All right, well, I thank you all again for hanging out with little old me. I appreciate it. Again, this is a great way of ending Women's History Month. Thank you all for hanging out with Talks with Toya. We're here live in Latino Music Co. Studios. And thank you, Gospel Central, for hosting us and having us on. Thank you, Miss Tracy, Miss JoJo, Miss Mita, Miss Nicole, and Miss Willie May for hanging out with Talks with Toya, where we're always working, always serving, and we're always about him. You guys have a good night.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate y'all. Good night.